In a world where outrage is often louder than reason and pain is met with retaliation, what does it look like to respond with calm, clarity, and character? This is the story of Daniel, a dedicated teacher whose life takes an unexpected turn when he loses his job without warning. Faced with bitterness and blame, Daniel makes a choice, not to fight back, but to rise above. His quiet decision to act with virtue, even when no one is watching, reveals a powerful truth at the heart of Stoic philosophy, that our response is more powerful than our circumstances. This isn't just a story about loss. It's a story about strength, integrity, and the kind of courage we're all capable of. Let's get in. What is a good life? Is it the one filled with wealth, fame, and comfort? Or is it the one filled with meaning, discipline, and resilience? The Stoics would answer this without hesitation. A good life is a virtuous one. Not because virtue guarantees external success, often it doesn't, but because virtue guarantees something far rarer, inner peace. In a world that spins unpredictably, the only stability we can hope to find lies in the choices we make in response. And at the heart of those choices, the Stoics tell us, must always be virtue. The Stoics, Epictetus, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and those who walked before and after them, taught that four cardinal virtues form the foundation of all right action. 1. Wisdom, the ability to discern what is good, bad, and indifferent. 2. Courage, the strength to do what is right even in the face of fear. 3. Justice, the commitment to fairness and giving others their due. 4. Temperance, the discipline to control desires and live in balance. These were not abstract ideals to the Stoics. They were daily practices, standards by which every decision, every reaction, and every breath could be measured. Act with virtue always wasn't a motto, it was a lifestyle. But how do we do this practically in a world filled with pain, disappointment, and injustice? What does it look like to respond to life's wounds, not with vengeance, but with virtue? Let's start where Stoicism is most misunderstood: pain. Modern culture urges us to escape pain. Advertisements sell pleasure as the solution. But the Stoics turned towards suffering, not masochistically, but because they understood it as inevitable. More importantly, they believed that how you respond to pain reveals who you really are. Imagine this. A man is laid off from his job after years of loyal service. His bills are due. His pride is wounded. The panic sets in. What does he do? He can curse his employer, sink into resentment, or lash out at his family. Or he can respond with integrity. He can accept what is outside his control. He can focus on what is still within his power, seeking new work, maintaining his dignity, caring for those he loves. He can recognize that while the job is gone, his character remains. That is where Stoicism lives, not in pretending that pain doesn't hurt, but in choosing how to hurt. As Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. This isn't denial. It's discipline. It's the refusal to let external misfortunes corrupt the internal compass. When pain strikes, act with virtue. Be honest. Be strong. Be just. Do not surrender your moral clarity to suffering. When others wrong us, the temptation is to retaliate, to make them feel what they did to us. But Stoicism warns, to act out of anger is to act out of impulse, not virtue. Think of Epictetus, born a slave, his leg shattered by his master. He did not cry for vengeance. He saw in that moment not just cruelty, but an opportunity to practice patience, to remain inwardly free, though outwardly bound. Modern life offers endless chances to feel slighted, an insult online, a betrayal in a relationship, an unfair judgment at work. But the Stoics challenge us to pause, reflect, and ask, what would virtue do? The answer is never lash out. It is bear patiently what you cannot change. Respond with clarity, not fury. Seneca wrote, anger, an acid that can do more harm to the vessel in which it is stored than to anything on which it is poured. To retaliate is to let the other control your behavior. But to restrain yourself, to act with wisdom and temperance, is to remain the master of your soul. Failure is inevitable. Even the Stoics failed. Marcus Aurelius, despite being an emperor, wrestled daily with distraction, discouragement, and fatigue. His meditations are not a record of triumph, but of constant inner battle. Failure does not mean you lack virtue, but how you respond to failure determines whether you will grow in virtue. You aimed high and fell short? Good. Try again. You broke your diet? Good. Begin anew. You lost your temper? Good. Learn from it. This is the Stoic view. The obstacle is not the end, it is the training ground. In modern terms, it's easy to give up. A single mistake becomes a story. I'm not cut out for this. But the Stoic doesn't cling to stories. He returns to the practice. Each day is a new chance to live well. As Epictetus put it, don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Perseverance isn't about stubbornly ignoring setbacks. It's about remaining committed to virtue in spite of them. The Stoic doesn't need a grand stage. Virtue is not just for emperors and philosophers. It is for you right now in the life you already live. Wisdom means choosing not to argue pointlessly online, but to listen, reflect, and speak with reason. Courage means standing up for what is right at work, even if it risks your comfort. Justice means helping a colleague in need, even if it goes unnoticed. Temperance means putting down your phone, stepping away from indulgence, and returning to what truly matters. There is no moment too small for virtue. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." You don't need a perfect life to begin. You only need a commitment to act rightly regardless of how others act, regardless of what fate throws your way. Let me tell you a brief story, one that might remind you of someone you know. Daniel was a teacher. He loved his work, though it paid little. One year, during school budget cuts, his program was eliminated. No warning, just a letter. He was devastated. His identity felt stripped away. Friends told him to sue, go to the press, make noise. Instead, Daniel took a few days. He reflected. Then quietly he wrote thank you letters to his students, cleaned his classroom, and walked out without bitterness. Why? Because he believed that how he left mattered more than why he had to. He started tutoring local students. It wasn't glamorous, but he did it with joy. Over time, his reputation grew. A few years later, he founded his own nonprofit helping underprivileged kids succeed in school. Looking back, he said, losing that job was painful, but pain didn't define me. My response did. This is the Stoic way, not passive acceptance, active resilience. At the center of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control. Some things are up to us, and some are not. Your effort is up to you. The result is not. Your values are up to you. Others' opinions are not. Your actions are up to you. The outcomes are not. So, what do? You focus on what is yours, your choices, your virtues. And you let go of what is not. Praise, blame, reward, and loss. This is not defeatism. It is liberation. The Stoic walks through life lightly because he knows that nothing external can truly harm him, not if his soul remains intact. In the Meditations, Marcus Aurelius often writes not of grand victories, but of his failings. He reminds himself daily to be not angry when provoked, not indulgent when tempted, not cowardly when afraid, not unjust when wronged. He wasn't writing for an audience. He was writing for himself. A Stoic is not born, but made moment by moment, choice by choice. We are not called to be perfect. We are called to be virtuous. And virtue is not about success. It's about being the standard even when no one is watching. As you go about your life, remember, when pain strikes, respond with integrity. When wronged, respond with patience. When failing, respond with perseverance. Act with virtue, always, not because it's easy, not because it's praised, but because it's the only thing truly within your control. Everything else, the loss, the rejection, the chaos, will pass. But your character, that stays.
Thank you for watching and taking the time to reflect on this story with me. I hope Daniel's journey inspired you to respond to life's challenges with virtue and strength. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Stoic wisdom and meaningful content. Your support truly means a lot. Thank you for being part of this journey.